What's for dinner? It's chicken, your favorite. All right, sweetie, let's go. Go to bed, honey. Can you read me a bedtime story? I don't want to go to bed. Mom said we needed. Legs up. Hey. Okay, kids, time to get up and eat.
It's time for bed, babe. Good night, Shelby.
Hi, my name is Shelby Counterman. I am 9 years old and I collect cockroaches. When I started collecting roaches, I only had 5, and now I have thousands. I like roaches because when they crawl my arms, they tickle me, and when I hold them, they make me real happy.
I could do without them, but she really likes them, so.
I absolutely don't love the cockroaches, but I can deal with them. I do have freak out moments every once in a while.
Oh my God, get those! Get them all!
No roaches escaped, Mommy.
But overall, you know, I've come to accept Shelby's passions.
My favorite thing about roaches is that they are unique and special.
My favorite thing about cockroaches is that someday in the near future that they will all go away.
I want to teach people about my roaches because they're not monsters and they can be really cute and funny. These are dubia roaches. She is pregnant, and right here you can see her egg casing in the back of her abdomen. These are my Madagascar hissing cockroaches. Sometimes they're too noisy, I will hiss at them. The exoskeleton is their bones on the outside of their body. They shed their exoskeleton and they turn snow white for just a couple of hours, and then they get their normal color back. The roaches, they do not bite. They're not harmful at all, except they may be a little stinky once in a while. This is a taxidermy beetle. I use them to clean out the dead bugs in my cage so it doesn't smell so bad. They're called taxidermy beetles because they eat the flesh off bones.
With over 1,000 roaches, sometimes the whole Counterman family must jump in and help.
The thing I like the least about the cockroaches is when we have to clean the tanks out. It can take a lot of time.
Actual transferring them tank to tank. It's not exactly pleasant moving them from one location to the other.
There's a million other things I'd rather be doing right now than sorting out roaches and getting all this mess taken care of.
Check out, make sure there's no bugs out. There is one rule. Do not let the roaches get loose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
This is definitely the grosser thing that we have to do with them.
19, 20, 21, 22, 23.
But we do try to be supportive.
Shelby doesn't know life without cockroaches. She's had them for so long. When Shelby was 18 months old, we took a field trip to a conservation district. Shelby saw the cockroaches and absolutely fell in love with them.
So when I was 3 years old, I told my mom I wanted bugs.
When Meg tells me that Shelby needs cockroaches, I'm like, who's the grown-up here? Why does Shelby need cockroaches? You're the grown-up. You should have just told her no.
A good friend of mine told me that he would give us male cockroaches.
Yeah, so I got voted out 2-1.
When Shelby was 5, we were on another field trip, and Shelby spoke with the folks there and told them that she had a big problem.
I told them that I didn't have any girls, and I got real jealous because they had babies.
We left on that field trip with female cockroaches, and Shelby began breeding them. At 9, she has thousands and thousands of them.
I keep my favorites at the end of the bed because I like them.
Shelby got a terrible cold one time, and we were trying to isolate what was causing her coughing all night long. So I actually took the tank out of Shelby's room.
And then the next morning, I was like, Mom, I had nightmares.
She was complaining about having bad dreams, and she did until I put the tank back. A couple of weeks later,
She put it back in, and then I'm like, Mom, my nightmares are gone. And ever since then, I have not had any nightmares.
she views the cockroaches as almost a security blanket in her room.
And that's how my roaches are my dream catchers. This is my gravestone for my favorite roach. Her name was Blackie, and I named her Blackie because she was completely black. She died about a year ago. And on the bottom, I wrote, she was nice, and I missed her a lot. So sometimes I come out here and just look at her gravestone.
Shelby enjoys doing a variety of different activities with her cockroaches.
We're gonna have to make this size. We have a few examples. Sometimes our friends will come over and play with dolls, and sometimes they'll come over and play with roaches. What are you making, Jordan?
I'm trying to make like a small shirt, but it's coming out like a really big one.
Today we are making costumes for my roaches, and I invited some friends over to help me. I'm gonna go.
Well, in my opinion, it's perfectly fine to have cockroaches. At first, kind of creepy.
I think having a cockroach for a pet is pretty weird. Welcome to the Cockroach Fashion Show. Our first viewer will be a bumblebee made by Emily. This is Superman done by Jordan. He thinks he's a superhero right now. A real pretty butterfly done by Shelby Counterman.
I think the fashion show went pretty good. Besides all the cockroaches starting to run away.
A lizard done by Jordan. I wanted all my friends to know that cockroaches can be funny and they're not scary. A chicken done by Andrea.
I loved having the fashion show with roaches. Even if it was creepy.
That was basket 5.
But Cockroach Couture isn't the only way Shelby spreads the roach gospel.
Shelby loves the Children's Museum, and so it was a huge, exciting moment when they wanted her to come speak about the cockroaches and educate kids about the value of the cockroaches.
At the Children's Museum, my goal is to teach them about roaches by doing a roach circus. What we put together is we have a Ferris wheel, a cannon, and a tightrope.
What if we go like this?
Ooh,
you think?
yeah. The cannon, we use stickers to decorate it.
We're going to have a little air-powered rocket launcher to launch our projectile, which today happens to be one of her beloved roaches. All right.
We are gonna make the cannon shoot through this hoop of fire and hit the net.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shelby's Amazing Cockroach Show. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, sweetie, let's go.
Many 9-year-old girls play with dolls. Not Shelby Counterman. She prefers playing with her collection of Madagascar hissing and dubia cockroaches, several thousand of them.
Here's the Ferris wheel.
Okay, no roaches in it, right?
No, we checked.
How could you forget your beloved roaches?
Ready? Clear?
Today, Shelby's been invited to show off her little friends at the local Children's Museum.
We're gonna do a roach circus in a few minutes.
You're doing a what?
A circus.
Oh, okay.
Her family comes to the museum very often. So when we heard about Shelby and her cockroaches, we thought it was a great idea for her to come here and share with everybody what she does, her special talent.
These are cockroaches. They are my pets. Do they hurt you? No.
So which ones are the hissers?
That's a Madagascar.
Okay.
Shelby came to my classroom when she was about 3 years old, and the thing that most interested her were the roaches. She was drawn to those immediately, and they captivated her pretty much from the beginning.
They can live up to 2 to 5 years.
Shelby's interest in the roaches has continued to grow, and her mother continually reminds me that I'm the one that started her creativity in these insects.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Shelby's Amazing Cockroach Show. This is a Madagascar hissing cockroach. One more. The Madagascar hissing cockroaches, they hiss either if they're scared, angry, trying to be a leader.
It's great to see someone you taught taken some of what I taught her, learned more, and is now passing it on to others.
And next we have our tightrope walkers. I'm doing the Madagascar because its feet can get a better grip. We are now going to use the cannon to launch a roach through the hoop of fire and onto our target. Let's do a countdown from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she is still alive.
A lot of people do a lot of different things with insects. She shot them out of the cannon, and the female survived just fine.
Anyone want to touch him?
I thought Shelby's circus was very inspiring to other kids to start collections of stuff and not to be afraid, because I think she was very brave to collect those, because most kids wouldn't do that.
This is the female. Our circus went really good, and the roaches performed pretty good, I thought. I thought it told the people a lot of good information.
I definitely believe that Shelby is empowered through her collection of cockroaches, and she helps people get over the cliche that a little girl should be afraid of bugs.
That was the first time that I got to touch a cockroach, and it was fun.
It's probably a life learning lesson for her. People think a bug's a bug, but it's more than that to her. I mean, bugs can teach us things. Bugs are important in the world. They have their place in the world just like we do.
For my next circus, I'm thinking about adding a strong roach contest, and maybe a roach struggling and one riding a bike.
Shelby's talked a lot about being an entomologist when she grows up. I think I could definitely see that career path for her.